I'll go down.
Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today, I am so excited to have on two 37-year-olds and a 38-year-old from Stratford, Burlington, and Brantford, Ontario, Canada. Staples of the Stratford Coltons, Burlington Cougars, and Brant County Golden Eagles. Two of them were definitely Midwest Junior B All-Stars. One more, all leathers to the match. Also, he was and is a legend with the Tavistock Royals and may have his jersey retired. We're not sure. Between them, combined for 8 Senior A seasons and 10 professional seasons. Two are North American roller hockey champions with yours truly and celebrated at the Lonnie Kai. But they're best known for their time with the Western Michigan Broncos, where the three of them became legends of the U Club and Kalamazoo, hosting some of the most legendary parties and had one of the messiest dorm rooms of all time. Welcome to the podcast. And they also taught me everything I needed to know about life. Reid Yantzi, Andrew Dwyer, and Daryl Moore. Gentlemen, there's a lot of us today. Stretch, how are you doing? Episode 11. You're back.
I'm doing very well, Brent. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Glad to see everybody.
Nice to see you too. And Daryl, episode 77, right?
Great to be back, Brentorium.
Yeah, hasn't been long there, Darlinius. And Yantzi, haven't had you on yet, but we're going to get to that.
Standard though, I'm always the last one to the party, so
it was tough to get you off the couch too in college, so hard to be first to the party when you need a stick to change the channel, right? Okay, sorry, but Yantz, we'll have you on at some point. We'll talk about the Senior A loop around here because you're a legend in this loop with the Royals, right?
Yeah.
What's
10
that?
years I played. That was the longest team I ever played for. 10 years.
Yeah, well, I've now worked at my current job longer than any hockey team I played for. So there you go. Yeah, that shit happens. So I get into how we know each other. You three, I guess, were my my roommates and best friends, I guess, in life. But Daryl, I guess we'll start with you. You were my roommate from freshman year, right? So we moved into the dorms together.
Yeah, it was an interesting year when I first got to live with you, Brent. But some of that stuff we got to keep aside, but we sure had fun, that's for sure.
Good times. Yep.
Can we talk about what his mom put on his mattress on the first day, though, in the dorm? Does anyone else remember what got slid over top of his dorm mattress?
I feel as though that's fair game nowadays. You know what? I'm not for everyone. And if you guys feel like you need to talk about it, then you guys just go right ahead.
I mean, I can tell the story. I was probably the last one to show up. You guys were already there. And Daryl, I think, comes around.
Hold on. I'd been living there for a month, man. This wasn't until the parents came to the first game. I'd been living there, no issues.
Oh no, this was the move-in day.
It was not. I came in the Intrepid, the Chrysler Intrepid, all by myself to Kalamazoo. My parents were not with me, and my mother came the first weekend of games. It'd be the exhibition games against the Canada school. I had lived there with no issues, Reid.
It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it.
Okay, either way. I come into the hallway out of the elevator on the second floor because we took the elevator up, of course.
Obviously.
And Daryl or Stretch, one of them, comes around the corner just dying. You got to see what Wally's mom's putting on his fucking mattress. Pea sheet right over top of the mattress. Got to protect that thing.
Hey, in those lofts, or whatever they're called, where the bed's on top of your computer, man, shit leaks on that computer. That's a problem, right? You got to do your schoolwork.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
That's what you're using your laptop for.
How many times was that pea sheet necessary? I wonder that.
Never.
Year.
That's the thing, is I had lived there without any issues. And then my mom comes and when I'm not looking, puts pea sheets on the bed. That's not cool. I had grown past that. I didn't need it.
You peed the bed since then. 100 times since then, I've seen you pee studies.
Not in that loft. Okay,
Oh.
whatever. Well, welcome to the podcast in the shed, Reid. But yeah, no, I had issues as a young buck. I brought them up just recently on the podcast. It wasn't my fault. I was a deep sleeper, right, Stretch?
Yep, that's it.
And when I stayed at your house when I was done my professional career, Stretch, there were no incidents, were there?
No, but so Brent slept in my basement for I don't even know how long, like 2 months. I don't know how long you live with me. I was like I have like this like queen size air mattress blow up bed thing, like what Daryl's mom has in the basement that you sleep on. You sleep in Daryl's house. And I was like, do you want me to blow this thing up? And Brent's like, no, I'm good. And he slept on an L leather couch, like not even a real leather couch, like a pleather couch. He just slept his greasy body on it the entire time with a sheet, and that was it. He was like a ghost. He just came and went out of the house.
I did not have my bare skin on that couch. I wouldn't do that to myself. I had the sheet on the couch. I wouldn't put my bare skin on that pleather. I have more respect for myself than that. Great hat though, Stretch.
It was a war zone when he left down there. There was like baby powder everywhere. I found like 10 hidden empty chew cans all in the basement. He was hiding them from me and my wife.
No one can know.
What are you talking about? I never chewed. And by the way, the baby powder was because I was sweating, working so hard. Anyways, wrapping pipes, but a lot of insulation around there. Whatever, Stretch. You loved having me stay there.
We had a great time. It was Brent would leave at like 5 a.m, so you never see him in the morning. And then when you get home, because as I'm sure you're well aware now, Brent is a like world-renowned chef. So like he was firing up something wild every day. And I'm not gonna lie to you, and you would never believe it, but like Brent can cook. Like Brent was making some pretty wicked stuff. He had a couple misses, but overall he was batting like 950.
I like to experiment, Andrew. I like to experiment.
Big Magnum bottles of wine and a case of cold ones in the house all the time. It was way for like 2 months.
It's a little different than when we were all living together and Yantzi just raved about hamburger helper. Like I didn't know anything else about cooking other than how to make hamburger helper, right?
Hey, it was good. I love hamburger helper.
It is fantastic. A lot of different varieties too. You make a lot of different things with it, right?
So good.
We thought it was healthy too.
That was
It was probably the healthiest thing we were eating.
Okay. Anyways, so I guess that's how we know each other, right? But anyways, I don't know how we're gonna do this today, but moving on. Question now. So Stretch, I'm gonna have to mute you if you keep this up. You're episode 11, Daryl's episode 77, but it's been a while since we've caught up. So Daryl, where and what are you doing now? And where and what are you doing now?
Where am I? I'm in Nova, or we live in South Line now, but we're in Michigan. So working at Adams Sports Medicine, doing physical therapy.
Check out episode 77 if you still have questions, folks. Stretch, what's going on with you?
My wife and my baby and I live in Grimsby, Ontario, and still working, sales job, living the dream.
Living the dream. Great hat. And by the way, folks, we have more hats on the way. And if you want to get one, just let me know and I'll send it to you and you can give me some money for it. But there are more coming. And Reid, where and what are you doing now?
Sales pitch. I want one of the hats for sure. I'm living in Tavistock, Ontario, actually, my hometown.
Home of the worst intersection in Canada.
Yeah, five corner intersection. It's a good one. The lights have changed recently. It's up in the air if they're better or not, but it's always a shit show up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different directions out of that intersection, isn't there?
Well, yeah, for sure. And there's a one-way street coming up to it too. That's a good one. Or going away from it.
And well, I guess you can be the sponsor today. So Pavestone Plus, is it?
Yeah, that's the company I own with Ross Yantzi, my father, Pavestone Plus, and been working there since 06 when we graduated, basically.
You just jumped right into that, eh?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah,
still doing it, right?
Good. We're wrapping up in the next couple weeks work for the season, and then it's kind of relaxing.
Well, folks, if
time.
anybody needs any pools, backyard stuff, front yard stuff, anything, any patio stuff, right? Reach out to Ross and Reid. It's a family business, folks. Feel free to support them.
Pavestone.ca. That's the website.
Pavestone.ca. Check them out. Okay.
For craftsmanship.
Yeah. And just great people, folks. People helping people. And if you mention Wally sent you, they may or may not give you a discount.
Yeah, it'll actually probably the price might go up if you say that Wally sent you. So
That's horseshit, Yantzi. That's why he's the Yantzi. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess I'll get in. I guess I met you guys, Daryl. I met you. We can talk about episode 77 and roller hockey or whatever stretch. We talked about yours. Yantzi, I met you playing against you in junior B. You were younger than me. You were playing for Stratford, and we'll get into that in your episode. But how did you guys meet? Stretch and Yantzi, I think you guys met. Was it?
it was
You had
orientation.
the Civic, didn't you? You had the little
Oh.
Civic, the boom boom.
Oh shit. Yeah, Stretch actually drove to orientation or before our freshman year. It would have been a couple weeks before we had to report for school.
I remember when Jimmy emailed me and told me to get a hold of Reid if we wanted to drive down together. And I'd never heard of Tavistock before. And I'd certainly never heard the last name Yantzi before. And I went on like Canada 411 or like one of those websites to find phone numbers back in the day. And there's like 35 Yantzis in Tavistock. There's like
There's probably actually more than that.
yeah, I had to call like 9 numbers before I finally hit on Reid. But yeah, that's when we met. We drove down to Kalamazoo for the first time. That would have been when I met you, Brent.
Was it, so you guys went down in the Civic?
No, Stretch
No,
drove in
My dad's truck, I think.
something.
Okay, so that was orientation. So
And we went the wrong way too. When we crossed the border in Sarnia,
Yeah.
94 goes down, and
you went towards
supposed to get on-
Detroit.
we were supposed to get on 69.
We took a tour.
Oh man. Then we thought, oh well, we gotta get off the highway and gotta zig back to 69 when we should have just stayed on 94 and went all the way around. It would have been that much longer, but we took like fucking 6 hours, I think, to take a 4-hour drive from Woodstock.
That's before phones worked like they do now, right?
Oh, we couldn't call anyone, no fucking way. Like, not a chance. Not from the US. If we were in Canada, I might have my cell phone over.
Daryl, when did you meet those two punks?
I think me and Stretch actually played together a couple times without even really realizing it. So I think we said, "Hey, what's up?" And then I think the first time I ever met Yantz was maybe
Who's
at the
playing with something? Somebody's playing with something. Somebody back off. Whatever you're doing, stop playing with your tallywhacker.
Probably my dog chewing a bone, Brenty.
Well, tell him to stop playing with his bone. Then.
Yeah, but Rito, we met at the All-Star game, I think.
Yeah, it would have
I
been.
think Rito
Was he in all leathers?
I think he had his lugs on.
I had a
maybe
leather fucking coat on, man. Jesus Christ.
Paperboy hat.
Leather gloves, maybe. Like,
Oh, sorry, it wasn't gloves and a
What were you
jacket.
doing wearing gloves going into the All-Star game?
1998, probably.
Wasn't that cold out?
It was like they dressed for the NHL All-Star game. Now you were
Oh,
dressing
fuck,
for
it
the
was.
Midwest Junior B All-Star game. You had the black leathers, the black gloves. Oh God, you looked like a rock star.
I felt like one, Ollie. That's what the jacket felt made me
You
feel
look
like.
good, you feel good, you play good, right?
Right? Exactly. Probably had a great night.
You
Surprised
did.
the MVP.
Probably was. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why I have this written down, but I thought we'd just talk about our different fashion styles over the years. I don't.
You were tapered jeans 12 years too early, but
Brent's styles come back around a little bit
I have a style.
in your own way.
Okay, hold on.
Your style is that we all know that you wear that T-shirt that you're wearing right now all the time.
No, actually, I saved this for special occasions. It's for right now. Don't use it for any funny business. Anyways, Yantzi, I thought had a great outfit all the time when I first met him. I was like, this guy's gonna be my teammate, like with the Chicago skyline
That
shirt.
shirt was a joke. We bought that shirt from like
that was
Winners or
that was
something
the
one night.
shirt you wore to show up freshman year. You think it was a joke?
I
That
didn't
was
wear it.
that was what you wanted to wear. That was your first line center. You couldn't wait for that to start the fucking game.
I never did wear it though.
I just
Went bowling one night.
I had
we
to
all
wear
had
my
ridiculous
old man's
shirts on.
hand-me-downs, okay? I didn't have my own clothes. I had to wear my old man's clothes. But Daryl, he was you had a bit of fashion to you, eh? You fit right in there in the USA.
Gotta look good, Brenty. I think didn't I have to untie your tie one time? It was tied in like a shoelace knot.
I never did learn how to tie a tie until I got to pro.
His ties only ever got tied once.
They stayed tied all 4 years.
Somebody tied them once for him, and he just loosened them enough to take them off and hang them on the door. Super tight, tiny little knot. And Ron's old tie.
My last year of hockey, I wore the same suit to every game for 76 games, and all the boys loved it. Yeah, no, my fashion just it was always good. It was always on point, they'd say. Right?
Yeah.
Stretch, it's not like you're dressing much better. You got a nice hat though. Like, grow up. Okay.
It's nice that you found a hat that fits your head though, Wally. You know, that's always been a struggle.
Do you remember that day?
Oh God. You tried on like 30 fucking hats in that store, and none of them, you're like, this one doesn't fit, this one doesn't fit.
Looked like a complete donkey in every one of them.
Finally found that one hat with like the ripped brim on the front.
Yeah. It was a Red Sox hat, or no, it was a Cubs hat. Then he became a Cubs fan right after.
Yeah, that one didn't fit his head.
The only hat he could find got his allegiances baseball-wise.
Oh, I feel like I've lost control. My head is round and it looks like a tennis ball. Yes, and it didn't fit many hats, and we did find one though. And I was a Cubs fan for a couple of years, I think it was, right?
Yeah, definitely a few years that lasted.
Yeah, well, you got the hat. Okay. What my idea was for this podcast now, since we've got into so much good stuff here, is I thought we'd just go through college chronologically. So let's get into how you guys end up at Western Michigan. So Daryl, how did you end up at Western Michigan?
Well, I was playing for Brant County Golden Eagles at the time, and then had been scouted a couple times.
You have a Michigan accent now, eh?
Do I?
Yeah, you don't sound like you sound like you got a bit of it's there. Do you guys hear it or no?
Monotone, kind of. So
I don't know. He still kind of sounds like Daryl to me.
Yeah.
He still talks like he's talking into a sound machine a little bit.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race. No, but yeah, so I forget what happened. I actually ended up separating my shoulder right before the All-Star game our senior year, but I still went. I think I watched you two in it. But Colhane was there, and he offered me the scholarship while I was injured. It was pretty sweet, but yeah, that's how I ended up there. And then I got traded to your team for Elmira playoffs.
Yeah. And then we lost in game 7 of the finals. Yeah, that's in his episode. And Stretchator, what about you? You were with the Burlington Cougars with that fella from Lucknow there, right? Bobby Raymond.
Bobby Raymond, the Lucknow Tornado, good kid. I was recruited by another school that I was not able to attend for academic purposes. So there were some like coaching connections between Western and them. And then, so I kind of got thrown to Western to be like, oh, look at this kid. And then, yeah, Old Jimmy used to say the only reason he ever saw me play was because his wife wanted to stop on the highway and go to IKEA in Burlington. So he went and watched hockey while she was there, and then he saw me. But anyway, it would be funny if he didn't say it. But yeah, that's how I ended up there.
Oh, Yantz and yourself?
Yeah, I was playing for the Culletons at the time in Stratford. Now they're the Warriors, I believe. It was later in the season. I don't even know that Western had even been to watch a game yet. There had been schools watching our games that year. We had a handful of players that year that got Scullies. So I had talked to a few other teams. I had never even really talked to Western until it was game 7 of, I think, the semifinals, I guess, of the Cherry Cup playoffs. We were playing Cambridge and we were down. I didn't even know that. I think Brooksy was there at the time. I don't think Culhane even seen me play before I got a scholarship, to be honest with you. It was game 7 and we were down 5-0 after the first period. And we came back and won. I had scored the goal to tie it at 5-5 and like played in like probably the game of my life. I know Wally's team at the time, I think, was watching the game hoping that we were gonna win because they knew they could beat us. That's a story Wally's told me before, but
we could beat anybody.
After the game, I talked to Brooksy and he said that they were interested, and then a couple days later, Jim called my house and offered me a scholarship, and I fucking said yes. Obviously, no one had. I never.
So did you ever go on a recruiting trip? Woolen Shop,
No,
Brown Ale, Bayfield Brewing Company.
No, I never went on my visit after.
So you had already
signed my
taken the
deal.
scholarship before you had been there.
Yeah.
When you know, Brent.
Daryl, did you go on a recruiting trip?
My other option would be to turn it down and play another year at junior and hope for a better offer.
No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take it. It's just different that like you never did
I
go.
I don't know what the deal. It was later in the year, and I don't know. I guess
you showed them something, eh, Reid?
Yeah, I guess maybe it was I peaked there. That was the game. I peaked.
No, you probably gave someone a good whammy. Gave me a lot of whammies over the year. That was the
Yeah, for
low
sure.
cross check to the low back of the pants, eh?
Oh, I'll never forget when I had to cross check Daryl into the net in like Alaska, I think, or somewhere.
Pre-game. That was pre-game skate.
Pre-game skating.
That was at U of M, I think.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys want to talk about it? Feel free. Go ahead.
Quickly, can we? Like, I don't even
Yeah,
know what
go
year
for it.
was,
Jump
but
into it
was-
here.
We had gotten shit kicked the night on Friday night, and it was Saturday morning pregame skating. He was screaming at us for competing, and we were doing one-on-one fucking battles where it didn't even end like at the net. Like it was like you'd go to the net and the puck would go in the corner. He'd make you fucking keep going. Like pregame skate. You kidding me? So Daryl goes right around me, and of course, if I don't whammy him, I'm gonna get screamed at.
And maybe not play that night. Like pregame skate depended on who played that night.
Yeah, so I fucking whammy Daryl, and his feet slide out. We go into the goalie, into the net, into the fucking end boards in pregame skate.
They
No
bag
wonder we
skate.
fucking burn out at Christmas every year.
I was on that trip and didn't play, and they bag skated the ever living shit out of Alaska.
Oh,
I remember we were all like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, relax. We got bagged for like an hour after pregame skate. I remember
that year in Northern Michigan in the playoffs. Was that our freshman year when Mantua was beating me around the drill?
Yeah.
Like the last drill of the bag skate of like an hour and a half pregame skate for the.
Sorry, what's that? The goalie was beating you at the bag skate?
It was like we were just skating a continuous circle for like 5 minutes.
It was good.
And Mantua was a bit of a freak of nature though. Like that kid, he would have skated for fucking 20 minutes at the same pace. And like I skated fast for a minute and then I was gassed out for the last 4. I could barely make it.
They had the Olympic barn too.
Yeah, fuck.
In Northern, they had the Olympic sheet, so it was twice as far.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
short track speed skating out there.
Okay.
I watched it the one year.
It was awesome. That was one of the best sporting events I've ever seen. It was so sick.
Yeah, that was cool. Was it the
Anton
Olympic
Ono
trials or
and
something, wasn't it?
Johnny Davis, I remember. The big US short track speed skaters. That was sick.
Yeah.
Are you
Stretch,
talking
you're
about
the
at
biggest-
Northern Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you remember that when we went and watched like the US Olympic trials and fucking
Yeah, no, I do remember. That
Yeah.
was that that doesn't like how can that be fun? Skating around in a circle really fast. How can that be fun? Like seriously. Like all they're doing is bag skating all the time. How is that fun? There's not even a puck.
Got no hands.
They just skate. Think about how much we hated that. That's what they do. At least
like
I guess the
people
short
run-
track, at least they're trying to go around each other.
Yeah, that was the short track. That's what we were watching. It was like the relays and shit. Now those ones are cool when there's
Those
like,
ones are cool.
pushing
The
people
long
and
track,
stuff.
I just don't get
Yeah.
that. Like,
Get this
how is
right.
that fun? It's like cross country
The
skiing.
long track
Grow
one
up.
is just like
Yeah.
running around a track for yeah.
I guess
Like-
if you want to just get exercise, but
Who would run like a marathon voluntarily? It's been like, oh yeah, I would like to go for a crazy long run and put myself like, come
I-
on. Like even lifting weights at the
I think
gym.
I totally
Oh.
got sidetracked
Oh,
in my
yeah.
intro. I totally got sidetracked in my intro when you talked about running a marathon. Was in the intro, did I even say, because I have it written down here, is all three of you almost completed 12 minutes, or what is it? 2 miles in 12 minutes?
Did you make it?
Did I
Wally?
say that in the intro or
Did
no?
anybody make it?
No.
We
like
weren't even
anybody on the team?
we weren't even close.
I was like I think I was second. I think I finished before you guys, I think.
Are you
Oh, I was last. in
Yantzi
our
was
plus
like
four.
15 and a half
Yeah.
minutes. He
Oh,
wasn't
yeah, I
even.
was not even
think-
close.
No, I was
I
a
missed
minute and a
by
half
minute.
behind.
Fucking 12-minute Marquette. Oh, fuck.
I think I missed by a minute, and I think you guys were all behind me. Like he was not only like a little bit disappointed, he was disgusted by the results when we were done. Maybe he did a big speech. I remember after about basically how much we were all brutal.
I had confirmation from the trainer that because Malsey, remember, it was only 5 of us on the entire team that had this test.
The whole
wasn't-
team,
I
5
wasn't-
players
wasn't
have to
gonna
do the
say it,
test. Nobody
yeah.
else does. Only the 5
Yeah.
players. Yeah, that's right.
They said, because remember, it wasn't our normal strength and conditioning coach there with us. It was the backup guy. And he, like, came in at like 12:07 or something like that. And he was like, it's close enough. We'll just tell him he did it.
Yeah.
Stretch, I think you were under. You were only like 30 seconds off. And then I was a minute or just over.
And I was a minute and a half. And you know what? That's awfully good, guys. I think we did a really good job. Jans, I don't think you really put in that good of an effort. That wasn't.
No, I didn't train that hard for the running. No.
About an hour and a half that entire summer training for that event. I probably practiced 3 days out of 100.
You remember how slow you were the first time?
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were in the 20-minute range the first time we tried it. So
Oh, yeah.
we really improved.
So speaking, Daryl.
See, I actually tried really hard to make it, and there was just no way I could.
I believe that there was a time where we were on the track training summer, and Brent had to only participate half of the session. Brent, do you
What?
recall that?
Yeah, he used to run the first 3 or 4 laps and be like, "Oh, I'm on pace," but I really got to hit the porta potty, so I'm out today.
He would run across the street to the field house, use the facilities, and I believe one time he didn't come back because he went to the bathroom and then went and got lunch. He went to a cafeteria.
I think that was everything.
I don't recall ever taking a dump in the field house in the cafe. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure.
I do recall running 3 laps really fast and be like, geez, I'm on pace. I should shut her down.
Yeah, you can keep that pace going for what, 9 more
If
laps?
it came down to gutting it out, I always thought I could do that last lap. And then by the end, I found out I actually cannot gut out the last lap.
How many
The
laps?
problem is it's 8 laps, not 3 laps.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I could almost do that first mile on pace.
Almost.
Well, I was allowed to penalty kill for half a season because of that.
Oh,
I
shucks.
do recall that. And then stretch, yeah, they didn't like you.
Ooh, no.
Reid,
I
they
still
didn't
got
like
to play
you.
that year. That was
Daryl,
the
they didn't
year
like
I played the
you.
most.
was-
And
Isn't that
for
our
some
sophomore year?
no, this was before our senior year, and for some reason the 5 of us were the only there, and Malsey were the only people on the entire team that have to do this. Nobody else did. They all stood there and watched us do it.
There were.
That was the second time though, wasn't it?
No,
Had a test, and I remember Pierce's test that he had to do.
touch
Was
his
that-
toes.
Yeah,
He had to touch his toes.
He had to be able to touch his toes.
He had to touch his toes, and we had to run 2 miles in 12
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. Soviet Union style military fitness, and he had to touch his toes.
But he couldn't even do that though. He still couldn't touch his toes.
He failed his test too.
What the fuck?
All he had to do was touch his
Unrealistic
fucking
goals.
toes.
There's no way he could ever touch his toes.
Oh God. Okay. Do you remember the day you left home for Kalamazoo? Stretch, you go first.
I do. I was out late with my friends the night before. And yeah, I do remember it actually. It was pretty nerve-wracking. I don't know. That's the first time I ever been away from home. Like I never played hockey anywhere outside my hometown. So yeah, but I remember when I got there, I was like, I thought it was pretty cool, ready for my parents to leave. And it was yeah, smooth sailing.
Reid, you remember your first day leaving home
I
there?
mean, I
You
don't
would have
really
you stayed
have
home
any-
the whole time too, right?
Yeah, I was playing junior at home and everything, so it was my first time leaving home too. So
Getting dusted by Elmira every year, right? It was tough.
yeah, I mean, we had a tough go against Elmira in the playoffs generally.
Agreed.
Oh, for however many ever. Oh, the one year we didn't get put. Oh, for 2 anyways. The 3 years I played junior.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. My parents came with me down. We took all my stuff down and loaded up their car and they dropped me off and I was there. I felt the same as Stretch. I was, feel a little nervous going down. And then by the time I got in the dorms, I was for sure ready to be there, and
It was fun that we
Crazy.
had met each other at the initiation or
yeah,
whatever that's
that made
called,
it
right?
easier that I already knew you guys and all the freshmen. We already knew all the freshmen right at that point. So
It was good for me because I knew Daryl. So Daryl, what was it like for you leaving home that first day?
Well, I think it's the same story. Like I came and played junior with you, but I used to drive up to Elmira, right? I mean, in those days, we only practiced twice a week, so it was a different world. But yeah, my parents brought me down first time being away from home, but I think that maybe was the problem, was the perfect storm of all 4 of us in that same.
We have all
Situation,
never
yeah.
left home and we all get there at the same time and have never left home. And then they put us in the dorms and then they give us an all you can eat buffet.
oh boy.
And then they introduce us to the senior class.
Yeah, that was probably their mistake because yeah, they should keep us
TSN
separate
turning point.
from them.
TSN turning point. What do we?
Should have
Brent
been for us
Rumble,
for a year.
Brent
Yeah.
Rumble, Sean Rose. I think me and Wally
Dave
walked to that
Couzino.
Yeah, Couz too. Fuck yeah.
first party, and we just are looking at these guys over, going nuts, and we're like,
Yeah. Like I felt like I was 12 and they were 40. Like hey, you know what I mean? Did they not?
No, but,
seem
like,
so
seriously,
much
and then
older?
they
But
were-
mind you, they were, some of them were 25.
Well, they were literally 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
They were all old guys that had been recruited, but they were also like 6'2" to 6'4" and like
Yeah, they were
have
big
been
then.
lifting heavy weights. And then
Yeah.
you put them in practices with Jimmy Colhane run the practice. And
And they're
next thing you
killing me in
know,
the
you're
end
trying to fight them and
Yeah.
they're trying to beat you up so they can be in the lineup. And you're like, this is so messed up.
Yeah.
How did we get here? Okay. What were we
Like,
talking about?
Oh, but speaking of fighting, like when when Pat Dwyer and Cookie squared off as roommates and went fucking toe to toe, and Cookie just dummied Dwyer's face in. Like,
And that's part of
Question like
Pat Dwyer's
20 times a
episode. He
day.
was on here and we talk about that, and he says
Oh,
they
fuck,
went
that
and
was-
picked up his girlfriend from the airport right after.
Yeah, I know. Like that was the first time I'd seen anything like that happen in a practice, and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on right now? Aren't they fucking roommates?" I was thinking, well,
They were like best buddies, and they
Absolutely going after it.
had a full blown.
At the time, that was the worst I'd ever seen someone get the shit beat out of them in a hockey fight in real life.
yeah, practice. It wasn't even. Was
Never-
even practice. It was like a fucking.
You can't tell me anybody in the
Scrimmage.
Midwestern Junior B loop was beating the shit out of people like Cookie beat the shit out of Pat that day.
No.
Not even.
Actually,
a
I
game.
watched Josh Gratton beat up a bunch of people for half a season. He's fucking.
I treated Cookie differently after that day than I did before that day, 100%.
He started letting him in line at the cafeteria.
Not like I wasn't scared of him before that, but after that, I was like, fuck no way. Yeah, take the puck. I don't need to play that bad.
Okay. So then when we get there though, okay. We've all been living at home apparently, eating mama's cooking, and then we get there and then they give us those workouts like with Vez. Remember Vez, the workout guy? That was he was a beauty football guy though, and everything was like as heavy as you can lift shit, right?
Oh god, yeah.
Squats, power cleans.
Well, I'm still dealing with back pain from that deadlifting incident where my back threw out while we were deadlifting. That was the last time we deadlifted.
Oh
My
yeah,
back's
when we
still fucked
try
from
and do
that.
max deadlift or max
Yeah,
squat.
I was trying to lift like 400 pounds probably. I don't even know. It might have been way less.
and we were lifting that much weight at that point, and we all were. It was so ridiculous.
I was squatting 410 after
Yeah.
my shoulder surgery 10 times.
And when we got there, you could hardly do a squat with 135 pounds on. And then
I've
within
never-
2 years, you're like,
I've never
Ah.
seen one of those squat rack things before.
Yeah, I'd never been inside of a gym before. I got
I haven't seen one since either.
do you remember going into the football stadium? Like,
Oh,
because
that was
that's where
good.
our weight room was the football stadium weight room. And then all of a sudden, there are gigantic people like screaming lifting weights and like screaming doing squats. And you're like little fellas from Midwest Ontario, like,
Just
what
grabbing
the
the
hell is
25
going
pound
on here?
dumbbells here, guys. Excuse me.
And then they had like a leaderboard of like the heaviest weights to lift, right? And their hockey players were on there too, right? There was a heaviest lift for like Dana Lattery owned every record, right?
For
Do you
us,
remember
yeah, for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Probably
Oh. I wonder
Well,
who.
Dex came in, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder who owns the power press for the Maple Leafs this year. Anyways, moving on. Okay, where are we going here? Burnham's cafeteria. Freshman 15. Do you feel like we all put on 15? Yantz, I know you were there.
I was probably closer to 25.
Yeah, it was tough, eh? Like you've been
Especially-
living at home and like then you don't know how to cook, and then they're just like, well, here, eat as much as you want every meal, whenever you feel like going in.
As
Just
many
go
meals
in
as
and
you want.
as
Yeah.
many meals as you want. Just go in and eat. Just go in and eat whatever you want. They're making bacon. They got cheese sauce, whatever, right?
When I sprained my ankle freshman year, remember at the end of the year, we were playing basketball and I sprained my ankle and I fucking definitely put on 15 pounds. Wow, is that a sprained ankle?
Couple
I
weeks.
was weighing like 220 easy, then 225 probably after that.
That when we found you under the nacho cheese machine.
Yeah, I was underneath the nacho cheese thing, probably sulking. I had a cup full of nacho cheese sauce to dip my entire tray in.
Well,
sausage links into.
Oh yeah.
not to point fingers
The
at only
nacho
one
cheese
person.
filled tater tots
Guys-
dipped in nacho cheese.
Stretch, you found out about Jimmy John's too, so let's not get carried away here, right?
Oh, I ordered the day I found out about Jimmy John's, I ordered one and then I called right back and ordered another one.
I remember you would be ordering 2 subs at a time every meal, and you found out the delivery would come and the dorms were just getting hit, right?
Gargantuans too. I always get that big Mama Jama, that big old gargantuan sub. Delicious.
It's got like 3 inches thick with meat, and then there's
yeah.
some on top of that.
Oh,
I remember there was a time where it might have been in the summer, and it might have just been Daryl and I, but on I believe it was probably a Tuesday night, we were at one of our local establishments, and from time to time, people would be asked or told that it was time to go, and the kind people there would give you some money to pay for a cab home and put you in a cab. And such a thing happened one time, a couple times. And I would take the cab right around the corner, and I would get out and pay the guy $5, and then I would walk all the way down to Jimmy John's and buy a gargantuan to go home.
With the money they gave you for the cab.
Yeah.
that happened how many consecutive weekends?
Yeah.
That
Tuesday nights. How many
thing
Tuesdays
probably
in a
happened.
row?
I would say half a dozen times that probably happened.
Okay. Next
I wasn't
question.
there for long.
Hey,
So
next-
every Tuesday in the summer, there's only fucking 6 days in the summer. Anyways.
Hey, next question though is, speaking of getting there freshman year, is I think all of us, all 4 of us, when we get there, we're all a little nervous. We're first moved away from home. But when Couz and Rosie and Rumble and the boys took us on that team trip, tubing and camping, that was like when we realized, like, we love it here. We love Western Michigan. We love everything about Western Michigan, right? Like that weekend, tubing down the river, the whole team on tubes with a raft with the keg on it, and the boys just being boys for like a weekend, right? Somebody take it from there.
Yeah.
That week, like an event like that has such a potential to either be like, oh, people think this is cool, or people are mortified. And
Yeah.
all of us were like, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all thought
You're all
it
those
was
guys.
absolutely awesome.
You're
There
all
might
like-
have been a couple people. There might have been a couple people in our class or any class that like saw what was going on that night and been like, this is too much. But
It was, I won't name any names. It was early on in the day. I won't maybe get too graphic with it either, but I mean, I wasn't feeling that drunk yet because I wasn't sure how hard I was supposed to be drinking. Like, you know what I mean? It was probably like fucking 9 a.m. And someone had gotten off of the raft and was standing on the shore and bent right over,
taking a
like
dump.
balls and everything hanging from the back, and took a shit
Yeah, I remember that.
on the bank. Yeah, I think everyone's got to remember that.
Yeah.
Like, it was early in the day, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I was just like, okay, it's one of those type of days, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start peeing in my bathing suit here in this tube then.
That senior class were a bunch of weapons too, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So Couz tells me that he loves the pod, loves listening to it, wants to buy a hat, and he's getting one shipped to him when they come, but he will never come on.
No,
That's what he says. He says he doesn't want to get real.
no.
Doesn't want to
He's a-
talk about.
Couz has a pretty sick job, I think. I don't know if
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
he's
don't
one of my
promote
mentors.
anything
I
on the
tell you,
internet.
like he taught me how to be a college hockey player. He taught me how to be a pro. You know,
Yeah, he was a.
Oh, yeah.
that, for sure.
living with him that summer was fun. You know.
I think
That was
if
a
you
tough one.
let him know, you won't bring up anything too bad.
He knows. He listens to every episode. He knows what's going on. Anyways, here we go. Next
You don't
question.
You don't even know.
Okay. So other you don't even know. Next question is the first workouts at the football stadium. We talked about working out there, but like, do you remember the stairs? Those first couple of years?
Oh, I had to carry Stretch up and down them.
Well, like,
The first time we did those stairs, I get paired up with fucking Stretch, and
I was the lightest guy.
that was probably 210, so tough for him. But He's all lanky. He was like dragging on the stairs behind me. Like I couldn't actually pick him all the way up.
It's a slippery spaghetti noodle, that one.
I
Yeah,
remember
right?
those workouts, and like every time you ran up the stairs, you thought it was like actual life or death. Like whoever made it to the stairs was gonna actually get more ice time or actually play more, right? Like
You didn't think that was actually true. Like
Yeah,
if you
that
could
was-
lift the most weights and run the fastest, you could play hockey.
I
You
guess
know?
that's true. Okay. Got Jimmy John's is done. How about the first day when we have been doing those workouts and we've been skating with no blades on our sticks? Like you know where there's no pucks and no blades on our sticks? And did you guys know that like if they would have trusted us to be like hockey players and we could go out there and practice on our own with the captains, we could have done normal practices. Like we could have played like hockey, and instead all we did was bag skate the whole month. So anyways, moving on. So we did that. And then when there was finally a Saturday where we worked out at 6 a.m. on the football stadium, which was it's cool. Everybody does that. But when it was over, it was football day, and Couz got pennies for the whole team and got our numbers on the pennies for our hockey jersey numbers. And we all went to like tailgating out on the town of Kalamazoo. That was one of my favorite days at Western Michigan, was when we're freshmen and we're just getting to figure out the place. And Couz and the boys put that on for us. That was one of the best days ever.
Was that not the day when we were running our sprints on the field and then the band was setting up for the game? So they started like playing for us while we were doing our sprints.
Very well could have been.
I feel like that started the day and then it just went only up from there. But
that street, I don't know. I haven't been into down by there in a long time, but that street that kind of ran on an angle away from the main road there with all those houses on was just jammed full of people.
Where that Brian guy lived. He lived on the corner down there.
Yeah. We went to that guy's house and we just went outside and it was just like fucking a sea of people and all the houses all the way down that whole street. That was sweet.
Well, there was just kegs, like, right? Like on their front lawns or whatever. And there was just like college students everywhere. Like it was gotta be one of the funnest days I've had. I don't know.
That was a good day for sure.
Okay. Well, thanks, Couz. Thanks for getting that all set up, and hopefully you'll come on someday. Get real with me. Okay. And then do you guys remember freshman year when we move into the dorms? The fucking phones that beeped. Where you at? Where you at?
Oh yeah.
Every time we walked around the campus, and we're just from Ontario and we don't have these phones. Every person from Michigan had those phones, did they not?
They did. It was annoying.
Nextel?
Yeah.
Terrible. You remember that?
I mean,
everybody in one of those furry North Face jackets with a Nextel phone. That's like the official like outfit of Michigan at the time.
And we would just cruise around and everybody would be like, beep beep, where you at? Where you at? God, you're nuts.
They wouldn't even give us cell phones. Like, do you
Yeah,
remember?
we weren't allowed them yet.
Our freshman year, none of us had cell phones. I'm still not sure how we did that, but
yeah.
We had dorm.
I had a phone.
Dorm phones.
Tonto had a phone and an answering machine and everything set up in my dorm room.
So you lived with Boots, right? Matt Ponto from out in Alberta.
Yes, I did.
And Stretch, you were with Vinny Bellissimo, episode 30 something, 20 something, maybe.
I was, but to go back to Yantzi, were you guys aware that Boots is now like
he's like a counselor or something.
Of his like
mayor.
He's like
he won. He won.
Like in the government. Oh yeah, he won. I was checking it out all night. I was texting him.
Sorry. Slow down, guys. Slow down. Nobody knows what you're talking about, Andrew. What did Boots do?
Boots is like a counselor in his municipal like county government now. He's like a community leader on the prairies.
Yeah.
Always could grow a great mustache too. Way to go, Matt Ponto. Right?
And he did that dance move where he flipped girls over in his arm.
So
Oh.
Columbus.
Yeah.
I have an
Definitely
unbelievable
some whack
story
when
about
he
that
was
move,
doing
but I can't even tell it. Boots has a story. It's not even that bad, but it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, no, can't tell that one.
All right. Okay. Well, this is my next one then. Playing our first times as freshmen, okay? Because we're going through this chronologically. Playing in front of the Lost and Lunatics. Like I remember my recruiting trip and seeing them play Michigan, and then like actually getting to play in front of them, and like it was got to be the most exciting hockey you've ever played, right? No?
Oh, fuck yeah. By far.
Like with the music playing and like the fans are all drunk and like college students that are just having a time and they're all straight across the rink from you.
Yeah, like it's like the Cullies had a pretty good atmosphere and like usually and a pretty good fan base. Like we had usually pretty full crowds, but like it's nothing compared to, you know, what would there be? There'd be 3,000 or 2,000 students on that side of the arena, right?
Oh, it
Fucking
was
screaming
nuts.
and
And they were
yelling.
all crushed.
Yeah, and it would be if we didn't sell out the arena, that section of the arena was still full.
Well, when we first got to Western Michigan and we were good, like literally we'd show up for a game and they were fans wrapped around the arena. Like students, like right for the free
Yeah.
tickets. It was like whoever was there first. So they literally would be there before we showed up.
Yeah, we drive by honking the horn at them on the way to the arena rink 3 hours before the game.
Yeah.
Lined up in the snow, barrel fires and shit going on. Remember that one year? The guys had it was January. I think it was a game against Michigan or Michigan State. It was like minus a million outside, and the guys had the garbage cans on fire.
Probably our parents.
Oh no, they thought they ran the place. They would have been at our apartment.
No kidding.
Okay. So anyways, you guys remember that, right? Nay, Lost and Lunatics stretch,
Oh,
Daryl.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
got me to sign, really. Seeing when you come on your recruiting trip and you see you're standing up there next to that student section, you're like, this looks like a pretty fun place to play.
Well, it's like you've never seen anything like it, right? Like I've never seen anything like it. You got the band playing, you got all those students there, and like they're like, you can play here, and they're playing Michigan, and they're playing like guys that have been on the World Juniors for Canada. And you're like, yeah, I'd love to do this, right?
I mean, pretty much the highlight of my career was when I wasn't being tenacious enough, and then I hit that guy through the glass in front of the student section. Like that was the highlight of my career because they were going nuts.
Okay, next question then is the tap room. Anybody, you guys remember that place? Do you know what that is? Do you know what the tap room is?
How could you forget a temple
Yeah.
of life, Brent?
I'm just kidding. It's like the movies you watch of like, you know, like where they go to university and there's like that one bar. That's our
That is
tap
the
room,
bar.
isn't it?
Yeah, that
At
was
that time in my life, I thought that the tap room was the best bar in America, if not in the.
on the
Fun.
planet.
I actually
It
thought
was-
it was the only bar in the world. When it got taken over and it was no longer the tap room and became like the Y bar or whatever it was, like that was so sad for every hockey player at Western Michigan and like what they did for us. Like I remember when I'd have a recruit to take out and we'd go there and we could just walk in front of the whole line. And then when we were young bucks, when we like the first year, we would just do whatever the hell we wanted in there and they didn't care, right?
No, they didn't care. And the owner would bring out,
$14 tab.
yeah, every time you drink all night, have like 17
Red Bull Jaeger.
Jaegers, yeah, fuck.
And
Hard
we'd have a
to
whole
guess.
section of the place and then that was that.
Yeah.
That's
Jarvis
college
Power at
hockey,
the
folks.
bar.
That's the way it used to be. Right?
So we couldn't sleep until Wednesday because we were drinking full glasses of Red Bull Jaeger at the bar.
And you
That
can
was-
smoke. I remember watching someone's penis smoke a cigarette in that bar. Oh fuck! Right back by the pool tables there, right there, the bar wrapped around the back there.
Really?
Sitting on a bar stool with his penis smoking a cigarette.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna say who it was, but it happened at that bar.
I saw a lot of weird shit at that
Yeah.
bar. A lot of weird shit.
He was obviously uncircumcised. It wasn't in the pee hole. The foreskin was holding the cigarette. So that might narrow it down a bit.
Thanks for clarifying. What night was it when it was 18 up?
Oh god, I remember.
Oh, and we were living in the
Sunday
dorms,
night,
and all the dorm people would go,
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
girls would be all
and
getting
they weren't
all up.
allowed to drink there. But
Yeah,
then there were
we were-
21-year-olds that were allowed to drink, and then I do remember those days.
Oh my god.
Girls would be trying to rip the beer out of your hand on the dance floor.
Like piranhas.
Oh yeah.
Well, fun fact, folks, I the first night out with my wife was at the tap room. So there you go.
That would have been on underage night, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah. I started shaking my rump up against her and she just couldn't contain herself. And here we are.
Yeah.
Rickets.
No? Okay, no, but seriously, that is actually for our first night out together. And it's hard. She couldn't control herself, I guess. So anyways. The only other thing I got about those first years was Quiznos, good sub place we used to go to a lot. Alfredo sub, right? Used to eat that a lot.
Remember the QKC?
That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
I remember you guys wouldn't tell me what it was. Because I'd missed like the first trip to the Quiznos. I missed the very first trip.
Because you didn't want to go
I don't
for
know.
somewhere other than the buffet and the cheese sauce. And we're
Probably.
like, you know what? You got to get out of this place every once in a while and go buy a sub.
Probably didn't want to make the drive. But either way, I remember you guys. Oh yeah, the QKC guys. You got to be in it. I'm like, "Fuck, what is this? Just tell me what it is."
Was that at the same point when Reid got
Holy moly, what was that? Whose phone just beeped? Jeepers, turn it down.
it's just technology, Brent. It's okay. Well, was that the same time that Rito got banned from our
From the room?
in the
Yeah.
dorms?
No,
Oh,
that was
that's
sophomore year.
sophomore year. So folks, after first year, Daryl and I are roommates, and Stretch is living with Vince, episode 20 to 30. Yantzi is with Bootsy, and then
He was a sophomore.
yes, and then the second year, Daryl, Stretchator, and myself get a 3-man dorm room, and then Yantzi's living with Vince, and he's just down the hall. And you know what? He comes into our room, and he's just not pulling his weight. It's not even his room. He just wants to be there. He wants to watch the TV. He wants to change the channel. He wants to be in charge. And we're like, this isn't even your fucking room, man.
He wanted control.
He did. He was trying to come into our room and run amok. And we said, enough's enough. And we banned him, right?
What is it that you did that got you the ban?
I don't remember, but I remember you guys dangling the band, and I did whatever the thing was anyways. Trying to call your bluff, and then you called my fucking bluff and actually banned me.
We had a sign. We had a
2
sign.
days or something. I don't remember how long it
We,
was.
Like
we
the
definitely
expert.
had a sign on the door with you
Oh,
had
yeah.
a mullet at one point,
It
and
was
we had a
the top
picture
of
with
the
a
whole
mullet,
floor.
and we had the X in your face and said,
Yeah, that was what.
And then we'd sit there and wait for him to walk by after we'd eat to go to his room, and we'd just be like, "Oh,
the door
get
open,
in
yeah.
here."
and then you were so sad, and you come to our door, and we banned you for at least 2 weeks, I would say. Navigating Lieutenant
weeks?
Bayfield
Wait,
Bird
is that
Company.
long?
It was like 3 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it lasted. It probably.
Well,
felt
that's
like
'cause
2
you were
weeks
so
to me,
fucking
but I don't think it was
sad.
that long.
He
Yeah, I
was just
guess
blinking around.
3 days back then felt like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? You guys realize that the room dynamic wasn't the same without me in there, so you're like, "Fuck, let's let him back in." My behavior didn't change, I'm sure, after the ban was
He
lifted.
probably came right back in and laid down on the couch.
Oh yeah, for sure. Grab the remote.
That fast forwards a few years, but that's the Yantzi move. The couch. Hey, can you grab me a water?
Yeah. Hey, can you pass me the remote? How long have you been laying here? He's like, I don't know, 6 hours.
I don't know what time was our workout done. I'm still wearing my workout stuff.
Yeah. He's just wearing Under Armour shorts
Yeah.
and an Under Armour shirt cut down the middle.
Yeah.
Man, I'm thirsty.
I've
We
been
can't
watching
talk
this
about
episode of
that.
Entourage on repeat.
There might be legal ramifications of that one.
Running.
I do recall that when the three of us had that dorm room at the end of that season, I do know our coaches got a call from like the guy that's in charge of the dorms and was like, I don't think they can clean this place in time. Like I've seen it and it's a mess.
There was like layers of like garbage really on the floor, right? Wasn't there at the end there? Did we make
It was so bad. Do you
I
know, did we not throw stuff out the window? Did we not take the big carpet that was just like full of shit? And did we not fill it and throw it out the window or not?
We tried to cut our couch in half because we couldn't get the door.
Well, we did.
Yeah, isn't that what happened? We cut the couch in half, right?
Yeah.
I remember that like the last night, I think we were having a beer bottle fight. Like full beer bottles were getting thrown off the wall, like smashed off the wall, full beer bottle.
That also happened at our U Club apartment.
Well, we haven't got there yet, but Daryl, I think you were there for this. Do you remember in our apartment at the U Club playing tomato sword baseball with Marv at the U Club?
Oh,
when we were throwing tomatoes and trying to hit them with swords.
Oh yeah, like
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, that was messy. It was a messy one. But anyways, moving on. So we're back at the dorms again, and that was so the second year at the dorms when we're the 3-man. That's when that's our year we're supposed to win it all, right? That's when the class that was so good as seniors, and we just didn't do it, right?
Wasn't that our highest ranked year pre-Christmas?
Well, we had Soupy, Drake, Davies, Jeremy, Latz. That's all one class. That's quite the class of hockey players.
Yeah. And and we had Shahura was there that year too, right? He was
a freshman.
His freshman year that year, was he not? He played decent minutes. And
we lost in the first round, but that was kind of the way it went at Western Michigan. Was the hockey was when we first went there, we were the team, that the program was good, right? We were
high when I signed.
Yeah, we were top 10 when I signed.
Compared to the team that actually won.
I signed. I thought I was going to a stacked team when I signed.
Me too. Yeah.
We did. We were fucking unreal. We went to Cornell that year and took 3 or 4 points. I still remember that. I just told that story the other day about.
We were right up there with all of them. And then it just every year got progressively not as good. And then by the end, it was jeepers.
But by the end was the furthest we made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because they changed the rules, and we played against a team that was worse. We were 11th, and we played the 5th place team instead of the 2nd place team, which probably wouldn't have helped us. But moving on. The first couple years were incredible. Like living in the dorms with you donkeys was fun times, wasn't it? Like, and then you got all the athletes on the other side of the building. And like, I guess that's where I meet my wife, but like, that you have all the athletes all in one dorm room. It was pretty fun, right? Everybody kind of understands each other.
Except for the people in the music program, I'd say that's accurate.
Were they in the building, the music folks?
They were all. Don't you remember we had like a guy who lived across the hall from us?
The guy
He wasn't into it.
He was not really into what we were doing.
No, I remember watching him come into the bathroom to take a shower, and there was like 6 of us in there, curtains open, having a great time. And he walked in with his shit and just turned right around and walked right the fuck back out of that bathroom.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah, he wasn't used to the curtains being open.
No, he's like, whoa.
Just
Like,
outcast.
there was probably 5 of us in there in an open shower. We're like, oh yeah, there's an open one. Come on in. He's like, well, I'm fucking out of here.
You're right. Okay. But yeah, so the only funny things I wrote down from that year there's a couple things I remember. One I brought up was Foz puking against Notre Dame. That was funny to me because, right? That was funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The other one was Mantua scoring because we played Ferris. They had like Legui, Nesbitt, and Kunitz, which Nesbitt and Legui have been on the pod, but like when Mantua scored that goal, they were ranked like top 10 in the country, and we were up
Chris was leading the nation, and he stopped him on that penalty shot right before he scored too.
Right, and we were up 3-1
in the country. Like I think they were like right high in the country.
Yeah, and the building was jammed. The student section was going fucking. That was the most exciting part, sporting event I've ever been at. That
was
moment.
The craziest things I've ever seen in a hockey game I played in my life, for sure.
100%. The roof fucking blew off the building. Like when he shot it, everyone was like kind of quiet. And then once the student section realized it was going in the net, it was fucking retarded. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies for saying.
No worries. I'll get the editing team out later. We'll figure it out. But
let's get it started.
Edit that out.
But seriously though, like when your goalie scores a goal in college and like with a student section like that, and you beat one of the top 10 schools in the country, we did end up having one of the best nights that we ever had, I'd say. Right?
I remember that night as
I do too.
Nights in the history of college. I remember we went to the tap room after that, and it was like, oh my.
The owner brought out a full bottle of whiskey out of the back and just poured it out into shots at the bar and just said you could have it.
And then we went back to Latz's place and Davies and Drake and like the hockey house right back there. Yeah. I remember I almost got a ticket that night from the cops, underage drinking.
That was like the only night
I had to dip, duck, dodge out of that one.
Jim basically gave us the green light to go have a time.
What would you say? So that was a big one. What would you say would be the best party that we ever had after a weekend in college in hockey was?
I think it was the Halloween party.
It's done 100%. Did we sweep Ohio State that weekend?
Well, even Vex brought it up in his episode, I think, or whatever. Like that Halloween party was like
that was the only there was people who were lined up in the hallway trying to get in.
We couldn't get into our own apartment. We went to the bar in our blow up suits, and then we came back and we couldn't get in.
Yeah, that was a time. That was the best party we ever threw, I think, in our career. That was our lasting legacy party at Western Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I've got a few pictures on that, just like, you had digital cameras back then. And I have pictures on my computer that I seen a while back. And just like they were taken from the kitchen, and it was just, there was probably 50 people in that little tiny apartment.
Well, we had a stripper pole in our apartment, right?
Yeah, and it had 7 people dancing on it at that time.
Yeah, countertop, end tables, couches.
Oh yeah.
It's
It
hilarious.
was.
Someone was dancing on that freezer covered in chew tins.
But then when we finally got back into the apartment, like when it would finally had died down enough that we could open our door enough to get into our own apartment, like it didn't stop. Like,
Oh,
quite the
I mean,
times.
I have a good buddy here in Michigan, and we were looking at a picture of that party, and he's like, "No way, dude, that's my sister, right there."
It is weird how small the world is when you start asking around, man.
It was good
Oh,
time. Good times.
that was a good time. So, anyways, moving on then. I don't even know where we're at, but we lost that year to Notre Dame. And that was the weirdest arena I've ever played in. You like, I would like, from being from Ontario, you always hear Notre Dame, you think it's like this big, huge place that's so cool and this big stadium. And then you get there and it's a hockey rink in the middle of a stretch. You want to explain this one?
It's like a golf dome kind of. Like
Yeah.
it's
And
it's
there's
like
like people
kind of
doing like the
big-
hurdles or like
There's a
long
track right
jump
on the outside
beside,
of the
like,
rink.
it's like their field house, right? It's like,
Yeah.
but there's a rink on one
but there's
side.
a rink on one side, but then it's like one big building where there's all these other sports and you're just playing one sport on one side.
They
It
have
was
like a new rink, I think, though.
Oh,
Daryl?
they have a new barn. It's unbelievable.
A beautiful rink, I think.
But remember, it had that huge, like 100-foot curtain that
Yeah.
draped right behind the stands. That was probably the worst atmosphere that
In college hockey.
we
Yeah.
experienced.
Held like 1,000 people too. Like it didn't even have a lot of stands.
No,
There was like
it
4
was
rows.
like- they were like temporary movable bleachers that they just like wheeled in sections of bleachers, right?
Yeah, around the outside. It had like stands on one side.
I mean, Ferris was kind of like playing in Elmira, but
Just bigger.
at least that had a little buzz to it, like that.
Yeah,
Notre
at least
Dame
they had the
barn.
bulldogs at the back or whatever the hell they're called.
Ferris I thought was sweet to play at. I always thought that was a cool rink to play in.
They had a good
Yeah,
atmosphere.
it's fun to play in,
Yeah.
other than we lost every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We'd win at home and lose there, you know. Our
Favorite
goalies didn't
rink.
like it, but we knew exactly what we were doing. We wanted to party after, and we knew if we won at home, it was go time.
Saturday night home win.
Boom.
All the shitty play from.
Hold on, Brent, before you carry
Perfect.
on.
Keep
What
going.
the best atmosphere? What was your guys' favorite barn that we played at?
Gotta be, for me, it might have been Maine actually.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty, like, I mean.
That was freshman year,
us,
wasn't it? When we were first getting started,
Yeah,
and like we
it was
haven't really,
early.
we
Yeah.
haven't been to Michigan yet. We haven't been to
No.
anywhere else, and like, and then you got there, and like
That
Paul
second
Korea-
row, like that.
Oh
upper
yeah,
deck,
the
it felt like they
band up
were
top.
hanging over the glass.
Oh.
And like they killed off a 5-on-3. Like we had a 5-on-3 power play and they killed it off. And that was the loudest I had ever heard, like, noise. You know what I mean? Like it was hard to even concentrate how loud they were cheering after they killed off our 5-on-3 power play.
Yeah,
I think that was one of the only college hockey teams that I was semi-familiar with, being an Ontario boy.
Before.
yeah, no, I agree.
Like when I was even signed in Michigan, I was like, "Is that the yellow one, the green one? Like, what team?
Yeah.
Which one's that?" Like, I don't even know.
There's
right?
Michigan State. There's the ones with the blue and yellow helmets, which is the Wolverines, and yeah. And then when other teams start recruiting, you're like, "So you play against them? That's cool."
That's when people ask me where I went and, oh, you went to school in Michigan, and they're thinking Michigan or Michigan State. I'm like, I went to Western Michigan. They're like, oh, who did you play against those guys? I'm like,
Yeah, it's the same league. Same
Uh,
league. Yeah.
yeah.
No, but like,
Take a look at the standings now. They're in the top 15.
The boys are doing well.
they
Yeah,
really
they're
are, and
really good, yeah.
and it's weird, right? Like for us, because like it was different. It was different times. I'm not saying anything. It's just different times. But I bet you, if you ask those players and that coach, I bet you they're all on the same page, and they're like, they're
I'm not thinking about throwing a coup d'etat to overthrow the coach. They're not planning. They're not planning that behind his back.
I mean, like they're probably on the same page because like it's hard to win if you're not on the same page, and when you're not on the same page, it's really hard to win. So I already said that. So, I'm just thinking that maybe they're on the same page now. Just okay, moving on. Right?
All around, Brenty, it's just a different world. The way that they train, take
What's
care
the
of
way?
stuff.
It's the way they train. It's different. The coaches coach different.
mean-
Everything's different than when we came up.
Program a whole
That's
lot
what I
different
mean.
than it used to be. I don't think that program looks a lot like it did when we played there. I think it's a little bit more,
For sure, coaching. But it's also, imagine social media was what it is now when we played.
That would have been a problem for us. I
It would
think.
have been
Big problem. Social media was a big problem for the things that we were doing.
Yeah. like,
Daryl, it became a problem and like
Right.
you had to have a university account to even say
Yeah.
anything, and you got in trouble for like, weren't you gonna
Yeah.
host a Facebook party or something? And like nobody even knew
Senior
what
year.
Facebook was yet.
Daryl was
I don't-
I
hosting
had a printout of the fucking party.
How old does
isn't
that
that-
make us, really? But like our senior year is when we first got into
On Facebook.
Facebook,
Yeah.
right? And like,
Yeah.
And you
Shrek-
got in trouble for it, did you not? Right
Well, I
away? Like
got
before I
right-
even knew what it was.
right away, got in trouble. Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
the first weekend we could have it. And I was like, we're having a party. Fucking put it on Facebook. Jim had it in the fucking office that morning.
No, it was legit,
is.
right? All the boys were moving in. I mean,
Yeah.
after we all moved there freshman year, what became the best day of the year after that was moving day.
always.
Yeah.
Moving day,
No,
Oh, the first
Really?
week of school is the best.
the best, right? So it's all a mess, but
It was a good day until there was a certain move-in day when a roller hockey coach of ours wearing a Rastafarian wig. That move-in day went sour, and then there was no more move-in days forevermore.
there was a lot going on that day. A lot of moving parts, that's for sure.
I'm not
the
sure I
safe-
made
the
that
safe-
moving day.
Yeah, I don't think I was there either, Reid.
The Facebook incident is different, right? Like, it's like, all right, send a message to like your friends, like to the boys and some of the people at school. Because at that point, you had to have a school account, right, to
Yeah.
be on Facebook. The old days.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure Stretch was over my shoulder somewhere because what we wrote was just like, it was for the team, right? It's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a hella tight whip ass time. Like, come on over, like something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
like it's not like a social media post today. And then
Yeah,
the
no.
next day, it's like,
It was a different. Facebook was different then too, for sure.
I don't even remember if Jammer called me or if it was the secretary or someone.
But the funny thing is like as the coach, if you think about it on his end, you're like, well, you have to make that call and you have to like give the guy shit. Like you have to as the coach
Oh,
of the
yeah,
team.
it's bad timing for sure. But it was like some Karen on the internet that found it and sent it to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he sniffed it out.
And I'm
It's
like,
just funny because like when we grew up and what we went through with no phones and like we literally were like the last of the guys that got to do that life,
Yeah, like the
right?
cameras,
It's
the
the
cameras
generation.
on the cell phones when we were seniors, like the picture was not a great quality picture. Like you
And
could
you
barely
might take
see
a
the
picture
camera.
on your phone to like in case they call you to like have a picture of them up,
Yeah.
right? Like
That'd be
it
the
wasn't
only
like
thing
it
to
is now where like you're taking pictures on your phone to like publish them. Like you were taking them for other purposes.
no other college athlete will have an experience like we did. Put it that way. That's a one-time deal.
No, yeah, no longer.
Perfect time.
It was something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then I guess next question then is after 2 years in the dorms, we finally get out when they tell us we don't have to live there anymore and we get our own place. But that first year we lived with Boots and Mantua and all that stuff, right? So I guess who lived with Boot? That was Yantzi. Me and you shared a bedroom, did we not? Did we
What
not
was
have
this?
2 mattresses
Oh,
on
and
the floor?
that summer after the summer
Left the
after we
dorms.
left
We
the
did we
dorms?
not put 2 mattresses on the floor and share
I
a
think
room?
I had a mattress underneath the desk in Ponto's room that year. Yeah.
We shared a room and
Shared
paid like
Ponto's room.
half each.
Yeah, I think that would happen.
Yeah, that was quite the time. But then we decided to book it. We booked it. The 4 of us, we get our own place for the
Before,
first
but that-
time in our lives. We're not at the dorms. People aren't cooking us food, and let me tell you, the shit got weird. Hamburger helper doing dishes, everything. God.
Doing
First
dishes was
argument.
very,
First argument, who has to share a bathroom with Wally?
yeah.
Not me.
I got
Stretch.
screwed.
I think Stretch was just the last one to show up. I think, like, you know what I mean? We all kind of showed up at
Reid.
different times.
Oh, I think me and Daryl moved into it because we were there all summer. And then Wally just walked in, it was like boom, and like right beside me. And I was like, oh man. And then immediately he gives me a hey Stretch. And like I turned down the music, shotgun right away.
Right on the back of the bowl, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Heaped up out of the water.
Oh, just complete shotgun immediately as soon as we get in there. And then that's pretty much
Not
what I
the
had
cool,
for the next 2 years.
not the cool shotgun either.
No.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah,
I don't know
not
what
the
you
good
guys are
type of
talking
shotgun.
about.
He went into the bathroom and did a shotgun.
I probably showed up, Stretch, made you dinner, did the
You
laundry.
were not making anybody dinner back then. You probably
No.
showed up with a Subway sandwich. You ate the sandwich. You saved the bag. And that's probably how that went.
I think things
Some
are
ways
starting to
and
get away
in a-
from you
in a
fellas. I
roll
don't even know what you guys are talking about now. Okay, moving on.
Jim Beam, Coors Light. You forgot all about that.
Yeah.
All of it.
How many ales and hockey tales was it again?
2. What are we at?
Shit.
Ah, shoot.
We
Okay.
skipped over the summer that we were living in after the dorms.
Yeah, that's right. When we were sharing a
We were
bedroom.
buying a 60-pounder of fucking vodka a day.
Well, all I wanted to say, no, that's not
And
what
a
we were
bottle
doing.
of
That sounds a
Tahitian
bit
Treat.
aggressive, but what we do is play
40
Tiger Woods. You were right into Tiger Woods. You had to have been the best Tiger Woods video game player in the world that year. And I bet you if there was online gaming back then, you could have ran amok, Reid.
I played a lot of Tiger Woods. Hey.
That was before Roscoe needed help with the Pave Stone Plus, right?
Yeah.
Our hero. Some good times there.
Unbelievable social media account. Ross Yantzi's Pavestone Plus, by the way. Unbelievable social media accounts.
My humps, my humps, my humps.
That was Roscoe's jam.
That's
So,
Roscoe? I figured
That
that was
was, no, that would always get Roscoe on the table.
That was Roscoe. Oh yeah. Hit the floor hard with that.
Oh,
song.
I thought, my humps. I'm still talking social media. My humps, that's Roscoe's jam. Oh, yeah. That's his jam, like milkshakes bring all the boys to the yards. My jam.
Okay, so after that, hey, moving on then, you donkeys. Moving on then, you donkeys. Is after that year living there, is somehow we recruited Mo to come to our team from Minnesota, right? And play with us. And he became our captain. But we moved into the U Club, like the 4 of us, like we were roommates, like we were doing it. That was quite the time when we started going grocery shopping and all sorts of things, eh?
Scully checks, yeah.
Scully checks too, hey? How much did we
was-
used to get? Like, was it like $3,000?
It was 3,500, something like that. I think a semester. Yeah, it was a decent check.
At least it was enough that you got it, you paid off your rent for the whole semester, and then we'd go to like Costco or whatever and drop $2,000 on frozen food for the next 6 months.
Yeah. frozen Tyson chicken breasts and tons of
Hamburger.
There was a lot of
The
ranch.
first time we went grocery shopping was probably a fucking disaster, though. Like,
I remember when I started grocery shopping was the first time was that first year out of the dorms when we lived with Couz.
yeah,
And I went to like the cheapest place you can go to,
Save
like
a lot. Save
What-
a lot.
yeah, where like the stuff's not even real or like it's
yeah.
it's
all
so
off. It's all off-brand stuff. It's not even-
yeah.
brought-
I
he brought
started
home-
trying to eat that stuff. It was tough. I did her there for a bit, but I
He brought
Yeah.
home. You and I went to Save a Lot one time and brought home groceries, and we made like these big steaks that we bought for like $4 each. And on the package, it didn't say what type of animal it was. And I remember Couz was like, you can't eat that. And we were like, hell yeah, we can. We spent $4 on it. So we fired them up and we ate them. And they were like a square foot, like these big ass pieces of meat. We had no idea what animal it came from. That would save a lot. Yeah.
It said steak in quotations on the label.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Well, moving on now. Okay. Here we go. We're into the U Club now. We're all moved in. The four of us, we live together. So here's some notes I've written down. Okay. Take it from here. Campus kitchen.
Ooh.
Well, tomato sword, baseball, foot. What does that say? Foot, water, and tub. What? I don't know what that means. Oh, the
Moved out.
tub was full of water. Like the
When
tub
Brett
was
and I
like
moved out
over
of-
your.
when we moved out of the apartment, Brett and I's bathroom, the bathtub was full all the way up to the top where it wouldn't drain anymore. It was just full of like garbage water, basically.
Yeah, we couldn't shower in there anymore, could we?
Well, you'd moved out a couple months earlier. I was still living there, so I think I had started showering in Daryl's shower long before that. But
Pretty sure I caught you sitting in there one morning after a long night. Like, all right, Stretch, you got to get up, buddy.
you have to move back to Canada. Get in the car.
It's time
We
to
gotta-
leave.
We got to figure out how to cover up this wall full of beers. With
Did I graduate? No. Get in the car.
No, not yet. Not yet. You haven't.
I think I said this on my first episode, but I think I might have a record for 3 different commencement ceremonies where they announced my name and I was supposed to go and graduate, and I just never showed up for any of them. Like I was there and I had a cap and gown, and during the day, Daryl and I just figured out something better to do that day, so I didn't go. One day it was just too hot, so I didn't go.
I've never been to whatever those are called before.
I went to mine. I did mine at right after we we went there for 4 years, and then I did mine, and then I went home.
Right.
And
That's
they
good.
only my diploma like 3 years after I graduated.
Okay, next question. Daryl was a very good player. I don't think the other two of you were, but we played a lot of beer pong.
Beer pong, that was I don't know that beer pong was a widely played game when we were in university. Like it wasn't in Canada. Nobody in Canada knew what beer pong was,
It was new.
right?
I learned it at school. I agree. I didn't know
I
about
definitely learned it at Western. Like when I came back to parties, like the
Well,
first summer of our freshman year, I was teaching people beer pong. Like they didn't know what it was. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is
And
the
how
greatest game
cool
ever.
did you feel teaching them beer pong?
Oh fuck! It was the greatest.
Yeah, your dick would have felt way bigger than it is.
Significantly bigger.
Yeah.
Very
Um.
grower, not a shark.
it.
Daryl knows. They definitely grew it.
Speaking
Speaking of games, though, real quick, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but what about beer darts? Like,
Well, yeah, no,
Oh,
that
fuck,
was
yeah.
next was that was recruiting Mo. That's where I was trying to go with recruiting Mo. We recruited Mo, who was Mike Erickson from not Western Michigan, from Minnesota University, wins a national championship, comes to our team. And then to have a player like that on our team becomes our captain and brings beer darts to us, right? What a game. Daryl, explain to the crowd what beer darts is. I got to piss.
pleasant game, Brent. No, really, what you sit, we were sitting in a big circle, right? Stretch, what do you think? Like
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
it depended on the amount of people playing,
right, obviously, but for our average game, we're talking like a 15-foot radius, whatever. You're sitting on either your case of beer or cooler. You stack up 2 beers on top of each other, and you
It
put them
could
up.
be one. It could be as
Yeah.
many as one. It depends
could
on
bring
how
one
crazy
to,
you want.
I thought, at least in our rules, it was 2 beers.
Well, everyone just did
A
2. I
pyramid
think.
in front of their thing, so like it was like hit me.
But you got to put it out, a couple feet in front of you, out in the grass. You're all in a circle. You bring out real darts. So we're talking, I think we had 10 usually.
Live
Live
Loaded weapons.
safety off.
The idea of the game is to hit the can within the bottom inch of the can, right? If you hit the bottom inch, that's a shotgun of that beer immediately. If you hit it a quarter way up, then you just drink to the hole. Once your can's hit 3 times, you got to drink it. And no joke, right? This game, people were drinking 18 beers in 25 minutes.
Oh yeah, like
I saw an errant throw that went from a teammate that will remain nameless that landed directly in the foot of somebody in the circle, a young lady. And when when the dart was removed, blood shot 25 feet in the air.
Well, you got to reverse it. It was a young lady who I don't even know her name, but threw it into the foot of someone else that we won't name.
Totally agree with Daryl on that one.
And
the girl threw the dart and it hit Bisic in the foot.
Okay.
And I don't have any problem saying who had hit him in the foot.
He pulled it out and blood.
And then when he pulled the dart out, the blood shot like 12 feet in the air. And I was like, oh shit, shit's getting real. And then we got an 18-year-old football player who's literally like 350 pounds, who's had 3 beers and is throwing up in a garbage can. And he's like, I can't drink, man. I can't do it. I'm like, you're 350 pounds. How can you not drink 3 beers or play beer darts?
Which one was that? Marv's buddy? Which one was that?
Well, we hung out with a lot of football guys, right?
We had good relationships with those
I
guys.
almost had Scheffler on the podcast.
They should probably remain nameless. But some of them play the NFL.
Yeah. No, Scheffler, like, he's a good dude. He wasn't one of the guys throwing up in a garbage can. But I tried to have him on. We almost had it. We even wrote back to each other a couple times, and I lost contact. Moving on, though. Pretty cool that we know a NFL football player, though. He got touchdowns from Peyton Manning. You saw that, Reid, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did. You saw it.
Sure
Do you
did.
remember what him and my old man were like dared to eat dog food? They were eating dog treats at one of our parties.
See, that's the thing, is I was saying good things about him. Now you're talking about him eating dog food. So I don't know. Like, what?
Oh, I mean, it's a dare.
I'm just
kidding.
Convincing.
Hey, if Timmer's gonna do it, you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I think that was the straw that broke his back there. Timmer was doing that. He was doing it. He wasn't letting Timmer pretty well.
Stretch anything, Timmer.
Next thing we got to talk about is that somebody found Entourage while we lived together. Who was it? Who found Entourage?
I think it just started, didn't it?
It was somebody found it on like our movie network, and we had like, and then all of a sudden we just went after it. Every episode. Do you know? Remember that?
We would watch the new episode. I mean, nightly throughout the week, and then right
Weeds and Planet Earth. That was our move.
Do you guys honestly remember how it started? Actually, this is kind of sad, but we used to watch, what the hell was that show? The OC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We used to watch that on Thursday nights. We'd have like our little everybody hang out,
piled
watch
onto the couch.
Yeah. And then we're like, thank God something came out like Entourage. Just
when when they said that there's going to be an OC season 2, we had a full pylon in the middle of our living room. We all jumped on each other. We were so pumped up.
Swinging around the stripper pole.
Oh,
A little more OC.
shit.
Where'd Brent go? Where are we going?
Oh, I'm right here. How are you? Nice to see you. Anyways, moving on. I better bring this up before I forget. Is the jersey over there behind me, the Cardiff Devils jersey, my last one ever, is up for raffle at www.aleshockeytales.com, and that's serious stretch. You can buy a ticket. They're £2 each, or that's like $4. But if you win the jersey, then I'll send it to you. If you want me to sign it, I will, but I'll find you, whoever wins it. And yeah, that's happening. Go to the website, try and win the jersey, and that'd be fun. It would raise money for mental health, and I think everybody can use that these days. What's up, Stretch?
I'm going to try to win that jersey, but then when you send it to me, I'm going to sign it.
Whatever you got to do. There's been 37 tickets sold so far, which is pretty cool that there's 37 tickets trying to win my jersey. I don't know. I've been out of the game for a long time, and for people to actually want the jersey that was in my closet, that's pretty cool. So thanks everybody that supports the shed. That's cool. And I do it because I love doing this shit, because look at this. The 4 of us sitting here right now, all because I came out here and started drinking beers in my shed. That's fucking cool. I don't care what you say. You know?
I know.
You know.
We smell what you're cooking, Wally.
Okay. We used to have a stripper pole in our apartment.
That came up while you were just gone.
That was the next note on my list. We had a stripper pole. And the only reason we had a stripper pole is not because of the 4 of us. It was because Mike Mantua bought a stripper pole.
I thought Bubbles bought it.
No, it's Mike Mantua bought a stripper
You
pole.
attach a lot of names to things.
Do you guys not remember that? I think Mantua Bubbles they used to come to the tap room or the firehouse, whatever it was at that time, and they had a bucket like
Around their neck.
Yeah, they put it around their neck, and they put on there something about stripper pole funds.
Oh, and they would get money.
People would
Yeah.
throw money in on it. Yeah.
The owner of the
People would
actor
throw money, and then they
$400.
actually, you're right. People gave them money to buy a stripper pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all fundraising for that. I don't think any one of us would have actually paid to
Oh,
have
we
that
never
there.
paid anything for it. Somebody paid something for it.
No, yeah, and they put it in our apartment. I remember us having a stripper pole.
It was our coffee table. It just happened to have a large erect piece of steel coming through the middle of it.
I mean, it was convenient.
It was
That
it was very well constructed. Like, you think about it, it wasn't attached to the ceiling at all. It was just the base and like the pole. And
Well, it
it's
was
like,
Quality
probably
pole.
what, 4x4, like on the bottom, right?
yeah, and it was like, 20 inches
You
high.
know,
That
if
track.
you look at the headliner of Brenty's podcast for us, it's all, and half of those pictures were on that.
Yeah.
We're on the pole for every single one of them.
It's very true. And it was a really, really fun apartment. And
What was it?
I think the stripper pole really added to that. So thank you, Mike, for and Bubbles for getting the money donated to get us a stripper pole in our apartment, because the 4 of us would have never thought to do that, right?
Brent, have you not had an episode with Bubs yet?
No, I've never had Bubbles on. Nope,
I
we've
feel
hardly
like-
caught up.
I feel like his hockey story is pretty boring, but I would like to hear about what he's just doing with his life these days.
I actually don't think his hockey journey's boring at all, because it's basically alongside mine the whole way. Navigating lieutenant.
It's also true that he's a guy who's from had a pretty strange life. His old man played in the show and stuff, so he actually probably does have a interesting hockey story. But I'm more I want to hear about what type of
animals he's
animal has been in combat with.
Yeah.
What type of mountain has he free base jumped off? I want to hear about that.
Well, I've had a
What
few
trails he's
people on
hiking
from
on?
Salt Lake City lately, and I have been in contact with old Bubs there, but not much. But you're right. I miss him, and we need to have him on. You're right. He lived beside me in Elmira, Western Michigan. Like I played with him everywhere, and he's one of my best buddies. And then we go our separate ways, and I don't see him again. Strange times, isn't it? Like, look at Reid. He used to have a mullet. He doesn't even have hair now.
He's bald.
Reid?
No, I just shaved my head. I have a full head of hair.
Oh. Fair enough. Okay. Moving on. So we move into the U Club together. What else do we got here? Not
We're only
much.
% of the way through our friendship right now.
I know, and I don't know how to bring this up, but like we want to talk about Campus Kitchen. I know Couz was the one that told me about it. It was right down the road from the U Club where we lived. You know about Campus Kitchen? You remember what they did to me? They showed me crab rangoon. Didn't know anything about it.
Daryl can too. What was Brent's favorite dish from Campus Kitchen?
Crab rangoon is the only thing I can think of, and then the rest. Of the,
Crab rangoon.
Wow, like
that was
deep
90
fried.
90% of the mess in that dorm room sophomore year was Brent and Campus Kitchen. That's no joke.
You think so?
I'm
Definitely.
pretty darn sure because I mean we used our
The sophomore year, like in the dorms? I didn't even.
All of the stickiness on the floor was
Yeah, because you
us from you.
That was the year I drank your piss.
can't.
that was that year, yeah.
That was the year with Jim Beam and Coors Light.
Yeah, they were
Couz
tricky.
didn't introduce you to Campus Kitchen until like summer of sophomore or freshman year. Sorry.
Couz didn't find out about it till his senior year, and I was a freshman. He says, I never found out about this place until one of my teachers told me about it. He goes, you got to check it out. And he goes, you got to try out crab rangoon. He took me. And then once I had it,
Did you ever have anything but crab rangoon from there?
well, now I know how to make it and I make it at home. It's kind of weird, but like I had to figure out how to make it because I liked it so much.
So you didn't answer the question. Did you ever order anything but?
Oh
crab
yeah,
rangoon?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'd get the like sweet and sour chicken with the rice. Yeah, I'd do it. Yeah, I was full of fitness.
I think it was all the other food that was the problem. It was all the rice all over the apartment.
Yeah, the other food.
I
he
don't
ate was the
recall
rice
this.
stove.
You're blaming the dorms on me and Campus
no,
Kitchen.
like-
I don't recall Campus Kitchen coming to the dorms. I remember at the U Club. I don't remember it being at the dorms.
Oh, I remember it specifically because we all had
I remember microwaving that craft dinner, like the stuff you microwave craft dinner to make it like. I don't remember getting.
that
Crackers.
was first half of the year. Second half of the year, I think we all kind of had maybe girlfriends. We weren't actually like sleeping or staying there. And I remember our like free textbooks still wrapped in the plastic on the floor as like stepstones for us to get back to the bedroom. And there was like
jump from book to
Chinese
book.
food boxes and like all sorts
on
of
the
weird
textbooks that had to be
sour
returned.
sauce stuck on the floor and Gatorade bottles that Brent would just gamble and drink, and that was all bad.
I drank your piss the first week of school. It wasn't at the end.
That was second year, not first year.
What year are we on? Okay. Whatever. Moving on. Then I don't know where we're at. But one thing I wanted to talk about was after the seniors took us on that camping like
Rafting trip.
yeah, there you go. Like when it was our turn, and like that's the way it works, folks, is like when you're a senior, you get to take the freshies on a trip, and like for us, it meant something, right? Like we wanted to pick something that like they'd remember. And I think they all do. After talking to Chris, Frank and them, they all remember our trip. So
How
good
could they
work,
not?
guys.
How could they not?
Dominated
Do you
you at
remember the highlight? Do you remember the highlight of our camping trip our year?
The
Which-
singing contest?
Everything came to a head on Western Idol. Who did you sing off against?
Who, me?
Renty versus
Me
Reid.
and Wally, right?
yeah.
And Wally picked
Karaoke.
the
You,
Yeah,
best
well, it
song.
was all song selection. You
It was song
dominated me in
choice.
song
You picked the
selection.
best
got-
song.
Destroyed by Reid, who is a self-proclaimed, and this is on the record. If there was a draft for the number 1 overall pick in the Tavistock Choir, it would have been Reid, who was also a member of said Tavistock Choir as a youth. But he would have been the number 1 draft pick. He has the voice of an angel.
Reid.
I don't disagree, Stretch. I was a Kiwanis Music Festival champion as a young boy.
Reid,
And he's
what's your
from the Stratford area, an area rich with tradition for that type of talent.
can we please hear him sing something?
I know.
I honestly
Sing
don't even
Hello,
remember
I-
him singing.
I don't remember
I
him
sang
singing
Blind
ever,
Melon,
so
No
I'm
Rain.
actually gonna have to actually hear it right
No,
now.
but I remember Brent played some sappy country jam, and everyone
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
I tried
snoozing,
to
and then
get the
Reid
crowd
played-
to feel it with me.
Blind Melon.
They weren't.
No
No,
rain.
you went with the upbeat music. You went with
Blind
he
Melon,
went
no
Blind
rain.
Melon, No Rain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
it was
yeah.
all song selection. It
And
wasn't
he
about
won it
talent.
from
I
the
bet you
opening
can't even
note.
sing.
It was more about the showmanship, I think, even about the singing. You know
No,
what I mean?
you're
I
right.
think it just
You're
put
right.
on a better
You're right.
show. Wally just kind of stood up there and awkwardly tried to sing a country song. I was, moving around. I was, being
No,
a
you
lead
felt
singer.
it. You're right. You
Right?
know, you know what?
It was a unanimous decision, if I
Yeah,
remember.
I'm not.
Skyline.
I'm
All
not
the people that
I,
lived at that trailer park were loving it.
I'm not disagreeing.
There
You
was a bunch of
dominated
people that
me
lived
from
there,
start
no?
to finish
Was it
on
not?
that. You did. You picked the right song.
Yeah.
You worked the
Yeah.
song. You worked the crowd. I didn't stand
Yeah.
a chance. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm sorry. I'm better at just standing in my shed drinking
It
beer.
was a massacre.
I'm not a singer. Can you?
feel like
Can I
Brent
please hear you
started
sing a
that.
little bit though?
No, I can't sing.
I feel like Brenty started that sing fight there for some reason.
Yeah, I think he thought he was.
Yeah, like
I didn't
remember
realize
him-
you had the
Confident
talent.
going
You
into
did.
it. Yeah, I think the
Wow.
pressure got to him.
I was trying to be cooler than I was in front of the young freshies, you know. You should put me in my place. Right?
It was a beatdown for sure.
Hey, well, that's my next note was mentoring Silky, Frankie, Weaves, Galley, Vex, all the boys, eh? That was that weekend when we really started teaching them.
First
remember
off, I'd say
Frank
that
was my guy, and I looked him up on the internet, and I remember I like looking, being like, when he was, I don't know, you know how old he was when he came to school. When he was like 17 or 18, when he played junior, it was like 6'2", like 255, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck is this guy? And he shows up the first day. Him and we showed up, and like they came in like 2 weeks early. We worked out at like 9 in the morning, then got hammered all day. I remember he took his shirt off, and he had that massive, like, huge cross tattoo on his back.
Oh yeah.
Like I basically I quit hockey that day. Basically, I was like, I'm done.
Fuck, I'm never gonna play.
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
I'll let him beat the shit out of Wally. He doesn't beat the shit out of me. But yeah, no, Bragg was a great guy. And I don't even remember who my guy was. Did we
Buddy.
have mentors?
Yeah, we had guys.
yeah.
I think mine was like Rosie or something. I don't even remember.
I mean,
I remember.
I think I had Clacker, right? And then but it always works out different. You always take a different guy under your wing. Like I grabbed Galley. But I'm going to just say before we get into any more stories, like those guys coming in as freshmen, they were more experienced freshmen coming in than we were. Like
Oh yeah.
they were partying and they were doing some stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as that goes, like wasn't Lupa in that class? Like Lupa was
he was
like
a
a year
year-
younger than me.
He was a year before them,
Was he before them? Okay.
right? He was with Bisick and Piercy and Lesbo.
Okay, yeah, and Lesbo, yeah. Right.
And I feel like we're always missing a couple guys, but
That was a good class. They were a good crew to come under us.
nice.
Yeah.
I just found it interesting that like the crew that we were the mentors for as seniors to the freshmen, like they're beauties. Like Silky, Frankie, Vex, like the crew that we were the ones that were supposed to whatever we were supposed to do. I don't know. They're all dandies, right?
For sure.
But everybody that we were at Western Michigan was like, we had a great time, didn't we?
Yeah, every year was good. I mean, different every year, but they're all fun in their own way. We always had a good time. We had us four.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think
always
back to-
start upper
yeah.
class, right? You kind of follow the lead and kind of see what's going on. So
I think we could have been bigger leaders when we were older. I think we could have on the hockey side of things. I think I could have been. I think I could have said to the old Jimmy Colhane, I could have give him the big fuck you for the team. And I didn't. I didn't have that in me. I wasn't
You maybe
there.
were the only guy that would have gotten away with it.
Right. But the
Would've
thing
got, like,
is
thrown out
like
of the
when you're
place.
on a scholarship for 4 years and like they are in control of everything you do for 4 years and you've basically signed a 4-year contract, there's not much you can do if you want to keep going up. You have to kind of do what they say, right? So it's kind of hard to stand up and say something, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put yourself on the bench. But I mean, the only part of it I agree with as far as the team stuff is maybe like weight room, right? For us four specifically, weight room, that was our downfall.
Yeah.
I don't think any one of us was half of that on the ice, right? Like I would rather skate on the ice with no blade and no pucks all day long than be judged about what I do in the weight room.
Yeah.
So I think like all of us gave it on the ice and gave it as far as team guys were, if we're talking team guys. But yeah,
I totally think that we were everything you could be for a team, and I'm still the same way. And like I don't like working out. I don't enjoy it, but try and outwork me. Try and outwork me playing hockey, or try and outwork me podcasting. I will fucking podcast more than you can ever fucking imagine. Because if you think you can outwork me, bring the fucking noise, right? I got issues.
podcast.
Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like
I got issues. I know I got issues.
No, but when it's what you want to do, you're gonna work hard at it, right?
And then it's like, well, I like doing this, and if this could be something that I like could actually happen, then like why wouldn't I fucking give it, right?
I remember someone said to me a long time ago, this is a true story. You remember like a few guys that you played with who were like really, really good, right? Like Pat played in the show for a long time, Chu played in the show and like whatever. But you remember the dudes who are good dudes on your team more than you remember dudes who are good players on your team.
Yeah.
And we were fucking glue guys on our team. If you put it in like baseball terms, my wins above replacement, low. Glue guy, super high.
No, but you're right though. Like when those young bucks came into that team, and like you talk to Chris Frank now, he was on the pod, and the way he talks about you guys and like the way we were, like
we're all boys.
Man, like it was a tough time when it came to some other stuff at Western Michigan by the end of things, but like we did everything that should be asked of someone. We were great teammates. We brought everybody up and we had fun at playing hockey and we did the best we could, right? Like,
My number one
Yeah.
thing I always say about like college hockey and about Western was school was fun. Met a lot of people there who I really liked. I had a great fucking time. We weren't that good, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit? I don't really care. Like whatever. Like we all had fun. We met friends there. We all had a good time there.
well, there's only one national
we always
champion.
say-
It's not like it changes that much, but like we
always-
did do the best we could every weekend and we did the best we could. Like we literally did everything they asked of us. If they told us to bag skate for 2 hours, then we did it. Yantzi almost lost his life doing what they asked him to do. We didn't get into that.
Yeah.
But like literally as teammates, as people, you can say whatever you want about us. We all like having fun and we all work hard and you guys are all very successful at what you do now. And it's because we're good teammates and because we are guys that will do whatever for the team. But we skated every fucking suicide they asked us to do. We did it. We ran every 5 mile. They kept asking us to do it and we kept fucking showing up and doing it. And they couldn't fucking break us. And we did it for 4 fucking years. So whatever, right?
It almost
Yeah.
felt like a game show, right? To be honest, like it didn't feel like I was playing on a hockey team with a goal. It felt like I was doing mini competition.
It was actually more
try to
like
get
if you
involved.
lose this year, we're gonna make you run even more than last year. So
Yeah.
good luck in the playoffs because you better win or we're gonna absolutely ruin you. And
Yeah.
guess what, folks? I've held this in all this time, but you know what? This is what actually happened. And if we lost, we would run so fucking much that our legs would feel like they're falling off. And that was real. And then we'd go to class, right? And try and learn.
Hurt with ice bags on places, and after sitting in the ice bath for 20 minutes after
But-
we ran.
But like, and like all the times I think about this and like the different ways my career could have gone and where I could have gone is like being with you guys and those 4 years made me who I am. I'm a teammate. I'll do anything for anybody. And it's because I lived with you assholes and, we went through that shit together and,
All we had was each other, right? We didn't have friends.
yeah. And then when it
us
was all,
against the staff.
yeah. And then when it was all over, I realized what I didn't want in my life and I knew what winning meant and all that shit. And, yeah, I wouldn't be the guy I am without you assholes. So thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, dickheads. So anyways, this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Stretchator, Darlinius, and the Yance Hole.